welcome to the show. I'm here with my first guest and one of my favorite actors. He's known for his roles in such movies as Match Point, Bend It Like Beckham, and Mission Impossible 3, but I know him as Henry VIII in The Tudors. Please welcome Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Hi, how are
it's
you?
really great to have you. Thank you. So, you know, when I look at you, all I can think of is your part as Henry VIII. I mean, it's like I'm speechless. But I'll tell you, if I had been one of your wives, I'd have been in trouble. You would have been in trouble. You would have been a better king.
I would have been a better husband.
Yes, but you had to be a better king, too.
I think maybe, yeah.
Now, did you ever read Ford Madox Ford's The Fifth Queen? Because the new season that I just read is coming on April 22nd.
It is, yeah.
Did you read Ford Madox Ford?
No,
I'm going to send it to you. It's one of my favorite novels, and he was a great English writer. He wrote up until like 1930, but he wrote The Fifth Queen, which is all about Catherine Howard and Henry VIII and their relationship.
Yeah, I mean, the relationship between Catherine Howard and Henry is definitely one of the most tumultuous. And, you know, apart from Anne Boleyn, which is an incredible story, his story with Anne Boleyn is the premium story. Right. I think Catherine Howard is the second best one. I mean,
and she was strong, beautiful.
Strong, beautiful, but certainly naive. She didn't know quite what she had. She had a husband who was much older than she was. She was very, very young. And she was guilty of all that Anne Boleyn was charged with. And she actually had many affairs within the court. And not because she was being particularly nasty to the king, she was just too young.
Right.
Too young a woman.
In a wild place.
Yeah, and he destroyed her. He destroyed her.
Did you gain weight for that part when you played the later Henry?
I did. We put extra padding as well, but yeah, I had to gain a little weight, and then I had to lose it really quickly.
And that's, oh yeah, there you are with the beautiful...
that's Jolie Richardson. That's the last wife.
Oh, she's amazing.
And, you know, it's quite extraordinary, but in the production of all the beautiful young wives, this is the most romantic relationship, is the relationship with the last wife. It almost seemed like he'd found his id, you know, in her.
Did he kill? Does he kill her too? Or
no, she survives. She survives. And but he tries. He manipulates her very badly. But I think he gets too old and feeble by the end of it. And she.
Did you see the Oscar nominations?
I didn't. I heard them.
Oh yeah. So I mean, best actor. So you heard him. Jeff Bridges, George Clooney, Colin Firth, Morgan Freeman, Jeremy Renner. I haven't seen The Hurt Locker yet.
It's
but
incredible.
It's
incredible. What a masterpiece. Yeah.
But I loved Colin Firth's part. Did you see The Single Man?
I didn't, but I'm a huge fan of Tom Ford. And you know, being a fan of Tom Ford, I saw like photographs of him recently on set. And I love a film director who's got a three-piece suit with a double-breasted jacket,
on the set, right?
with a beautiful silk scarf, and he's got his camera on his shoulder, and it's kind of like, that's the director I want to work with.
Well, Tom, are you listening?
Isn't he good? Is Tom listening? Tom, do you watch Martha Stewart? Of course you do.
You know, he's been on.
I'm sure.
Oh, he came on. We promoted that movie because I think it's a beautiful movie.
I'm sure it is.
But they're very exciting. And Avatar. I loved Avatar.
It is.
Best Picture. There's 10 Best Picture nominations. Look, 10.
And it's just funny, I was talking about Avatar this morning, and I've just seen it recently, and I saw it on 3D. I went to the cinema in London, and I thought, I so wish I'd been 9. Because he's a directorial version of Charles Dickens or Lewis Carroll. To create that world, the world of the Na'vi for people was
and he's not 9, beautiful. Which is really amazing because he's an older director. If you look at him next to Tom Ford, but he has done it. He has changed the landscape.
Extraordinary.
Yeah,
extraordinary.
I can't wait to see his next opus or whatever it is. But he really has changed. You're going to have to turn into a very, very thin, weird blue person for your next movie.
If I stay out in New York weather anymore, I will be a very weird blue person. It's freezing here.
So I have to ask you, and this is a business question. Do you have a Twitter account?
I don't, but I do have somebody who pretends to be me on Twitter, and they only have one message, which is, "Hi, sweetie."
Oh.
Now, I'm not sure who Sweetie is, but I'll find out.
And you have like 1,000 followers or 300. So, and then you're no good. You can't help me.
I am no good. I am twitless.
I am at 1,881,000 tweeters, followers, and I want to get to 2 million by Friday. So you can't help me.
I can't help you.
So I tweeted on Sunday. I said, "What can I do to get to 2 million, you guys out there, my 1.8 million fans?" And actually, they said, "If you give something away." So I decided I was going to give the 2 millionth tweeter a sewing machine.
There you go.
Brand new Singer Confidence.
Well, I tell you what. You can have my 1,000.
Okay.
So if you're the 1,000 people that are tweeting me, please exchange it over to
Okay.
Martha Stewart, and you may get yourself
And
a
we
sewing machine.
will, and we will induce Jonathan Rhys Meyers to have his own Twitter account. You should open one. Because, I mean, come
Yeah,
on. Talk about Henry. Give us just history lessons every day about Henry.
Yeah, well, or
Really?
you know, I'm not quite sure. My life is so demandingly dull.
Okay, so it's just Henry. It's the 5th season, right? 5th season or 4th season?
This is the last season.
Yeah, the last season.
Season 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, season.
I become
4.
an old man.
Yes, and yeah, and you go mad. Or something
Oh, I think
like
he was
that.
mad a long time before season
okay.
5.
So
But,
now tell us about your new movie, because this is a very fun movie, From Paris with Love.
It is, yeah. It's myself, John Travolta, in Paris. It sounds like a really nice, you know, February 14th date movie. It isn't.
A lot of shooting going on.
You know, it is a love story. It's a love story of sorts, but it's a love story between a guy and his gun.
Yeah.
And
So we have a clip.
we do.
Action-packed. And now I read somewhere that you do your own stunts.
I did some of my own stunts for the movie. I didn't have too much. John had the mother load on this, and you know, he's an athlete, a dancer, and so, you know, he was able to do it. But I think he was a little shocked. Pierre Morel said, you know, you're going to do all of your own stunts. And I think he'd had an imagination that, you know, he'd kind of roll over for the close-up, looking great. But he did it, you know, the challenge was for him.
He's amazing. Now, was it fun working with him? Did you get to know him?
I did so well. Well, you know, with a movie like this, because I finished The Tudors and then came on to this, our chemistry almost had to be immediate.
Yeah.
So I'm a communicator, he's a communicator, so immediately we started talking and all the barriers would break down, and you know, we worked hard.
Well, he's a lot of fun and a very, very good actor, as you are. Now, I'm gonna teach you how to make. It's really called arroz con pollo. Have you been to Spain?
I lived in Madrid.
Oh, you did.
For a little while.
Oh, good. So do you speak Spanish?
Hablo un poquito español.
Oh, bueno. So we're gonna do this. I call it Puerto Rican chicken and rice.
Okay.
Because I had it first in Puerto Rico. I love it. It's very tasty, and it's just we're just using chicken thighs, some hot olive oil, and we're gonna start browning this, and just till they're crispy. Turn up the heat a little bit, and we have some onions and garlic here in this pan, and the chicken you can see is nicely browned. We do everything with swap outs fast, not like in the movies where you do it painstakingly slowly, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, my gosh.
Actually, do you know what? I've spent a lot of time in Mexico, and I remember being in one Mexican house, and I went in to help in the kitchen. Bad move.
Uh-oh.
Men are good for eating, not for cooking. Not for cooking. I cook with my girlfriend. She's an incredible cook. And,
So you want to chop the tomato for me?
Why not?
Yeah, chop that up. Don't cut yourself.
Here we go.
Slice and chop. Seeds and all.
There we go. There we go. Look.
You're good, look. Oh, fantastic. But no, you have to
Thank you.
chop it into little pieces.
Oh, you want more?
No, you can do it all together.
What a taskmaster.
Chop it. And because we have to add that to the 1 large onion and 2 to 3 cloves of garlic in this pan. Yep, perfect.
Yeah, so usually in the kitchen, what I do is I follow my girlfriend around the kitchen and clean as she cooks.
So is this the regular girlfriend? You have one girlfriend?
Yes,
you're
yes,
not like
she
Henry.
is.
You haven't
No,
picked up any
not like
bad
Henry.
habits.
No,
Okay.
she would be
she's
very
beautiful.
much. She's an amazing girl.
And who's that beautiful little dog?
This is Boo Boo. It's actually, yeah, I know. He's so sweet. He's a
Where
beautiful
is he
guy.
now?
This is in Glendalough, Ireland. He came walking with me for 5.5 hours to the top of this mountain.
That
He was
little
so
tiny,
brave.
he's called a chug.
He's called a chug. He's a Chihuahua pug.
Oh my gosh. How cute he is, and he's a good dog.
Oh, he's
so
so
who does he
handsome,
live with?
so kind. He lives in my house in London, but at the moment he's with his friend Vanessa, who's pregnant, and he's taking care of them both to make sure they're safe and happy.
So just throw those in here.
Right, this way?
No.
Just pick them up? Gordon Ramsay, I am not.
Oh, you're doing pretty well. You would give Gordon a run for his money. Excellent. So that cooks. You add the chicken back into that.
Okay.
And then over here, you can see how nicely cooked this is already, and we're going to add 1 cup of dry white wine with saffron.
What's that? Saffron on the top?
Saffron.
Okay, beautiful.
Saffron. Do you know where saffron comes from?
India, no?
Well, I think it might, but mostly from Spain. It's the little stamens from the crocus flowers, the purple crocus flowers.
Okay.
So we're going to cook this until The wine is totally evaporated. Add 2 bay leaves, and again, a little bit more salt and pepper. And when we come back, Jonathan and I will finish making